Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper left hand corner we got Wizard starting as the blue Zerg. Bottom left hand corner we got Pauline starting as the red Zerg. I want to leave it these colors, but that would just be a little bit ridiculous, right? Right? I mean, I'll just stick with the original. This is going to be on Metropolis. I feel like as far as ZVZ, it's really the size and distance of, well, sometimes the third base can come into play. It's a lot more rare though, and if you have just the ramp blockading, that does, just having a single ramp tends to be more of an impact ZVZ, but otherwise the size of the natural expansion and occasionally inverted ramp can play a big aspect, but otherwise it feels like whenever you're talking about a large macro-oriented map, ZVZ is going to play about the same regardless. Might regret saying that, and otherwise it's just a matter of, how did I remove, there it goes. Otherwise it's just kind of a matter of artifacts on the map, right, for Zergling engagements and where to hide overlords and pathing across that field. Now that I say it, I immediately have to walk it back. Anyway, if you guys missed game one, overlords went across. This is kind of an interesting scouting pattern from Pauline. This is a very odd scouting pattern from Pauline. Maybe he regrets what happened game one, where the overlords crossed paths and felt maybe he ended up at a disadvantage as a result. He's gone with an overlord opener, by the way, as has Wizard. Looks like Wizard going for an overpool. Looks like Pauline opting for a hatchery build, but this overlord going far right. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm trying to get in Pauline's head as far as the logistics of all this. So more often than not, when you're going a 12 hatch, or 11 hatch, depending on what drone you're plopping it down on, you're going to end up with aggressive Zerglings out in the field fairly rapidly. Cross map, I want to see what the timing, mental note of the timing of this overlord by the time the spawning pool's finished and the Zerglings are complete as well. In the meantime, Wizard has gone for overpool. He's got an extractor alongside, and he's got the second hatchery down a little bit later, so he's going to be down larva in initial stages. He'll have several seconds where his Zergling production is inferior, but he is going to end up with a faster scout. Pauline actually holding his second overlord a little bit back. This makes a little bit of sense to me as well, recognizing that he's delaying that hatchery a bit, and Wizard getting a huge amount of information here for free. Well, okay, never mind. Did he go far enough in to see? He's kind of this is odd. I think he saw the edge of the hatchery and then is backing out with that overlord because the hatchery doesn't have sight and this overlord doesn't have sight either. The Zerglings are immediately making their way down to bottom left. We've got a bunch of Zerglings that are going to greet. There's going to be a time fill in here where these Zerglings, because of the timing of everything, are going to be able to get some bonus damage on the hatchery. Bottom left, Wizard is investing in Zergling speed before layer, by the way. Attacking that egg before it spawns, wants to try to cancel the two Zerglings along that edge. Those two Zerglings are in fact complete. Two drones pull off the line as well. Wizard's actually kept the drone count fairly close despite everything with build orders, and Wizard knows he's going to end up with Zergling speed a little bit more rapidly, but again, he's down larva. Is he down larva? He was down larva for a chunk of time there. Things have actually equalized off this, which is a bit shocking to me, and I'm kind of wondering, how did that happen? Well, I'll go back to the replay and we'll check out. It looks like, by the way, Pauline's overlord just holding mid-map in the space of this. Layer almost complete. Layer, what is with the timing of this as well? Okay, was there a cancellation of... Maybe I missed it, because this looks like identical build orders. Except Wizard's got the Zerglings in his opponent's space a little bit earlier. I'm a bit thrown off by all this. It could just be, it's because of the Zergling speed upgrade, that's why. Hatchery dropping at equivalent timings. Wizard actually up a drone in the midst of this. He's also got a creep colony on pause in the midst. And with the Zergling threat, let's see if Pauline kill his Zergling speed finishes. He's starting to move out. He doesn't have a massive supply advantage. The sunken colony is now morphing. We have more Zerglings going to go ahead and blockade the line. And the Overlord diving deep to confirm that there is in fact a layer complete. And Spire is going to be just about at the same time. That's curious, actually. In the meantime, attack at the natural expansion. The Zerglings engaging right along. That was a perfect engagement point there for Wizard. That was very, very slick. Single Zergling to scout because he can expend it. Pauline, however, has invested in some additional, is very rapidly grabbing that second gas. Is he going to fold back to Evolution Chamber to defend this? Has surged 3 additional drones, grabbed his natural expansion gas very rapidly. I am shocked he's comfortable doing this, especially as Wizard, yeah, I felt like he had more Zerglings out. Charge down, do we have a counter sunken colony to cope with this? It does not look like it. We do have some more Zerglings being built, and this is just, and do we have any larvae left? A bunch of Zerglings being built here for Pauline as the hatchery finishes, so we're going to end up with 2 Mutalisks in the air for Wizard. He's now grabbing that second gas. It feels like Pauline's just a little bit off on the overall build orders. Evolution Chamber dropped on the front, but this is way too late. Also, a bit exposed. I mean, it might provide a little bit of surface area, although Wizard losing a Zergling or 2, and as Pauline notes the retreat, going to go ahead and I guess that sort of saves the drone for some resources. I don't know if that's worth it overall. Pauline up a drone right this moment, but I don't know how long that's going to last. Is queuing some additional Scourge, and also is going to end up losing some of these Zerglings. Really has been kind of, I don't want to say, what's the word I want to use? A little bit wasteful, prodigal. He's been not that great with the Zerglings. He just kind of let a lot of them go. Scourge diving forward for Wizard. Can get an Overlord kill, potentially, in this space. Might also be able to catch some Mutalisks as they're spawning. Sometimes you can get a 2-for-1 with the Scourge as they're spawning. And speaking of which, wow, a lot of the Scourge getting wiped out there for Wizard. That's unfortunate. Is able to get a hit. Not able to land on additional Mutalisk. Some nice micro there from Pauline. That does weaken 1 Mutalisk. So at close reinforcement point, Wizard doesn't like it. A single drone on gas here. We got the 3 drones on for Wizard. The drone count's even. A little bit higher mineral intake for Pauline. A little bit better gas intake for Wizard overall. And the air fleet is to Wizard's favor. He's actually, Pauline's still up in supply count somehow, despite bleeding off, honestly, a lot of Zerglings. So maybe actually bled off fewer than I anticipated, but what has happened in the space of this, with fewer Mutalisks in the air, Pauline's got +1 weapons, investing, and that is going to give him a serious advantage in oncoming fights. So Wizard's somewhat on a time note, and part of that is the difference in gas with the Scourge. Trying to pick away at Overlords to bait a fight out. Here come Mutalisk. That weakened Mutalisk was picked off immediately. 2 Scourge picked off there on Wizard's side. Overlord stands, and Pauline, now that he's got +1 weapons, should start bullying Wizard around. Especially because I think at this stage he's got a larger Air Force. Still patrolling right this second. Wizard diving, able to get 2 drones and retreat more or less for free. Is microing very well against, well, both players microing pretty well against the Scourge. Keep in mind, if Wizard engages, looks like he does have an he has the superior army, but down +1 weapons. And with the reinforcements, Pauline likely would have won that assault. 2 Overlords very exposed here at the 9 o'clock, by the way. Speaking of looking for engagement, but this is a huge army here of Mutalisks now engaging. One of them is weakened, but it's not getting targeted. 1 Mutalisk dying very rapidly. Pauline in a lot of trouble all of a sudden, at risk with some concentrated fire and Scourge support of losing his entire Air Force, and that should be GG. 10 Mutalisks remain, nothing but Scourge, and 1 Mutalisk on the opposite side, and Zerglings aren't even fanning out. Yeah, there's GG from Pauline. I want to migrate back and just make sure I'm not on crack with these build orders. I was very thrown out. I was very thrown off by the timing of all this. I think it's just was an artifact. Yeah, so definitely an okay overpool. Hatchery dropped behind this. This hatchery finishes much further, much earlier. Pause. How many seconds exactly do we get here? So that more or less just finished. We're gonna keep an eye here. Also, the hatchery on the way, but the timing ends up similar because of the investment in Zergling speed before hatchery for Wizard. So that's all copacetic. These Zerglings attack the egg and lose the advantage. So right about here. So we got about 25 seconds. 25 seconds, give or take, given this build order, where Wizard could have accomplished something with these Zerglings before the natural expansion Or I should say Pauline could have accomplished something with the superior larva count. And Lair's like dead even. Look at that. I click on the bases. Dead even otherwise. Circling speed also finishing faster from Wizard in this build order. Anyway, I was just thrown off. Wanted to verify that for myself. 2 games now in Wizard's favor. 1 more match and he advances. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.